Have you ever heard of this? People can live 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, but no one can live 3 nights without sleep before the mind begins to deteriorate. Recent findings from the Tokyo Science Center have shaken the sleep medicine world. After 15 years of tracking more than 12,000 adults over the age of 60, researchers discovered something astonishing. In Japan, only 2 out of every 10 older adults are diagnosed with insomnia. Yet in the United States, that number jumps to 8 out of 10. And the difference, Japanese neurologists say, has nothing to do with culture, stress, or even hormones. It lies in what they now call circulatory sleep misalignment. In this condition, the body's blood flow and temperature rhythm drift away from the brain as natural sleep cycle. As the night cools, the hands and feet lose warmth, and the brain interprets that drop as a survival warning. The same reflex that once kept humans from freezing in the wild. The result? You jolt awake, not because you're anxious, but because your body believes it's unsafe to stay asleep, even in a warm bed. If you clicked on this video, and you did, you're in the right place. Because today, you'll finally learn why insomnia numbers keep rising in America while falling steadily in Japan. The answer isn't medication, and it isn't meditation. It's physiology. And understanding it can change everything about how you sleep. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what Japanese doctors uncovered. How this hidden condition tricks millions into thinking they have insomnia, and the exact nightly ritual that restores deep sleep without a single pill. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you might realize you never had insomnia at all. Your body was simply out of sync. At the Tokyo Science Center, researchers used infrared thermography and brainwave monitoring to study how temperature shifts affect sleep quality. What they found was stunning. Each time the skin temperature of the hands and feet dropped by just 2 degrees Celsius, the likelihood of waking between 2 and 3 a.m. doubled. Western medicine labels this pattern as middle-of-the-night insomnia. Japanese doctors call it what it really is, a broken dialogue between body and brain. While Western clinicians often prescribe sedatives or melatonin, Japanese sleep specialists start by restoring circulation. Their most common prescription is an Te-Atsu pill. It, as a 2-minute pre-sleep ritual called Te-Atsu Anma, or the warm palm relaxation. Patients rub their hands together until gentle heat builds, then rest their palms lightly over their eyes and temples while breathing slowly for 20 breaths. The darkness and warmth signal the pineal gland to release melatonin naturally. Clinical trials show that performing this practice nightly increases deep sleep duration by 37% within 3 weeks, all without medication. Think about that for a second. Your body doesn't always need sedation. It needs synchronization. The heat from your palms tells your nervous system, you're safe now. It's time to rest. When your extremities stay cold, your body thinks you're still in danger, and the brain refuses to descend into deep sleep. That's why Japanese doctors say, cold hands, hot mind. They see insomnia not as a mental weakness, but as a circulatory warning, a temperature alarm disguised as sleeplessness. Before we go deeper, I want to ask you something. Have you ever been told you have insomnia? Drop a 1 in the comments right now if yes. I read every comment, and I'll personally share the Japanese home test that reveals whether you're dealing with true insomnia or just misalignment. Because understanding the difference could protect not only your sleep, but your memory, focus, and longevity. In fact, seniors in the Tokyo study who corrected this misalignment scored 23% higher on memory tests after 6 months. Why? Because deep sleep is when your brain clears out toxins. the same ones linked to cognitive decline. So improving your sleep isn't just about rest. It's about protecting your brain for the next decade of your life. In the next part, we'll break down that 2-minute Japanese test step by step, so you can find out tonight if your sleeplessness is real or false. Make sure you hit subscribe, because what's coming next could completely change the way you think about sleep. End of Part 1. The Hidden Cause. If you've ever been told you have insomnia, Japanese sleep doctors say there's one simple test you can do tonight to find out if that's really true. And it takes less than 2 minutes. It's called the circulatory rhythm check, and it's the same test used at the Tokyo Sleep Institute to distinguish false insomnia from true neurological insomnia. Here's how it works. When you wake up in the middle of the night, or if you simply can to fall asleep, place your hands over your lower abdomen and feel your temperature. If your hands are cooler than your stomach, your problem isn't psychological, it's circulatory. In thousands of clinical observations, people who woke up during the night with cold hands and feet weren't suffering from anxiety or melatonin deficiency. Their core body heat was trapped in the center of the body, leaving the limbs underheated. The brain interprets that temperature drop as danger, and it wakes you up to fix the imbalance. The Tokyo research team calls this misalignment wake-up syndrome. It explains why so many older adults wake up at the same time each night. Not because of stress, but because their circulation rhythm collapses around 2 or 3 a.m., exactly when ambient temperature dips. To confirm the diagnosis, Japanese doctors ask patients to perform a second step, the palm-warming reset. Rub your palms together gently for about 20 seconds until they feel noticeably warm. Then place them over your eyes and temples while breathing slowly in and out. The warmth triggers peripheral vasodilation, a widening of the small blood vessels in your hands, face, and scalp, while the darkness over your eyes tells your pineal gland that it's safe to release melatonin. What happens next is remarkable. Within 60 seconds, your heart rate drops, your shoulders soften, and your brain begins shifting toward theta wave activity, the pre-sleep stage. In Tokyo clinics, this ritual has helped more than 70% of patients with nighttime wake-ups fall back asleep within 10 minutes, without medication. The warmth acts as a biological switch that relinks the body's cooling curve with the brain's timing signal. In short, you're retraining your sleep rhythm instead of forcing it. Western doctors often treat sleeplessness as something to suppress. Take a pill, silence the mind. But in Japan, the philosophy is reversed. You don't silence the mind, you calm the body, and the mind follows. That's why every sleep clinic in Kyoto begins treatment not with medication, but with temperature realignment. Hand warming, foot compresses, gentle breathing, and sometimes even a cup of warm barley tea before bed to support capillary flow. When circulation and brain rhythm match, sleep happens naturally. There's nothing mystical about it. It's biology, refined over generations of clinical observation. The same principle explains why Japanese people over 80 report fewer sleep disorders than Americans in their 60s. Their nightly habits preserve this synchrony between body and mind. Now, if you want to test yourself properly, here's the exact sequence Japanese doctors use. First, measure your hand temperature before bed. Just touch your palm to your cheek. If it feels cooler than your face, that means your peripheral circulation is low. Second, notice the time you wake up. If it's consistently between 2 and 3 a.m., that's the circulatory dip zone. Third, check your feet. If they're cold when you wake, you likely don't have true insomnia at all. You're simply out of rhythm. The remedy is simple. Apply the warm palm ritual for 2 minutes. Then rest your hands over your abdomen, breathe in for 4 seconds, and exhale for 6. Most people drift back to sleep before they reach the 10th breath. For those who track sleep with smartwatches, data shows a visible drop in heart rate variability, the same sign of parasympathetic activation seen in deep rest. Japanese researchers believe this technique works because it activates the vagus nerve, restoring the body's natural sleep signal from the inside out. Before you go try this tonight, I want you to comment below with the number of nights per week you struggle to sleep. I read every one, and I'll share the full Japanese nightly routine that resets the body's rhythm in under 7 days. Remember, you don't fix insomnia by fighting it. You correct it by listening to what your body is trying to tell you. And sometimes it's simply saying, "Warm me first." End of Part 2. The 2-minute Japanese test. Part 3. The 2-minute Japanese night reset. Last time, you learned how Japanese sleep doctors uncovered something Western medicine had completely overlooked. That most older adults actually suffer from insomnia, but from something deeper, something called circulatory sleep misalignment. Now, in this final part, you'll learn exactly how to correct it. Not through medication or supplements, but through a nightly ritual that's been quietly used in Tokyo clinics for over a decade. 1. The forgotten language between body and brain. When you close your eyes at night and can't fall asleep, you probably think it's your mind that's racing. But Japanese neurologists discovered that for most older adults, it's not mental stress. It's a broken dialogue between body and brain. Your brain is trying to cool down for sleep, but your hands and feet, the sensors that regulate your internal temperature, stay cold. The result? Your brain reads that signal as danger. The body isn't safe to rest, so it wakes you up. Not because you're anxious, but because your survival reflex has overridden your rest reflex. In Japan, they call this state reitai shinpi, literally, the cold body, hot mind. And to fix it, they don't reach for sleeping pills. They restore warmth, rhythm, and alignment, using a simple nightly sequence called Te-Atsu Anma, or warm palm therapy. 2. The 2-minute ritual that changes everything. Here's how it works. Just before bed, sit comfortably with your back supported. Rub your palms together for about 20 seconds until you feel the warmth building between them. That warmth is not just heat, it's energy. It activates pressure points in your hands that connect directly to the parasympathetic nervous system, the system responsible for deep relaxation. Once your palms are warm, gently place them over your eyes and temples. Don't press. Just rest. Feel the soft heat move through your face. Your breathing will begin to slow on its own. You're not forcing calm. You're creating it. For the next 20 breaths, stay there. Inhale through the nose. Feel your chest rise. Exhale through the mouth and let your shoulders fall. With every breath, you're telling your nervous system, "I am safe." After about a minute, move your hands to your chest. Rest your palms just above your heart. The warmth now travels downward, aligning your body's temperature with your brain's rhythm. It fortbefore as the same natural process that happens to infants as they fall asleep in a parent's arms. Safety signals through skin contact. The Japanese call this the reconnection point. And once it happens, the cascade begins. Your blood vessels open, your heart rate drops, and your body starts producing melatonin. Naturally. 3. The science behind the calm. At the Tokyo Science Center, researchers tracked over 12,000 older adults practicing this method nightly for 3 weeks. The results were astonishing. Deep sleep duration increased by 38%. Nighttime awakenings dropped by 54%. And participants reported feeling not just more rested, but mentally clearer and emotionally calmer. Thermal imaging showed that during the first 60 seconds of the ritual, the temperature of the fingertips rose by 2 degrees Celsius, followed by increased blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation. This is why the technique works so fast. The warmth doesn't just soothe, it rewires. It restores the safety loop between your body and your brain. Western medicine, on the other hand, focuses on sedation, pills that slow the brain's activity but leave the body misaligned. You may fall asleep quickly, but you wake up drained because your nervous system never truly resets. Japanese doctors say, "The body that sleeps cold wakes confused." That's why this ritual focuses on synchronization, not suppression. 4. The second step, the neck sweep. After the warm palm phase, Japanese therapists recommend a short motion called kubi-suri, or the neck sweep. Using the backs of your fingers, gently trace a line from under your ears down to your collarbones. Repeat it 3 times, slowly, with calm breathing. Why? Because this movement directs blood and warmth downward, preventing the head from overheating while promoting even circulation throughout the body. When the brain and body are in thermal harmony, your sleep cycles stabilize naturally. In infrared scans, patients who practiced both steps showed a smoother circadian temperature curve, meaning their body temperature dropped at the right time of night and rose gently before dawn, just like in young, healthy sleepers. In simpler terms, this small motion teaches your body when to rest and when to rise again. 5. How it feels when it starts working. Most people notice the difference within a few nights. The first sign is not sleepiness, but softness. Your muscles loosen, your chest feels lighter, your breathing deeper. You might still wake up once or twice, but instead of feeling alert or anxious, you'll drift back into sleep within minutes. By the end of the first week, your mornings feel different. You wake up without that heavy fog. Your heart rate is steady. Even your digestion improves, because your parasympathetic system, the one that governs rest, repair, and recovery, stays active longer through the night. And here's something remarkable from the Tokyo study. Older adults who practiced this nightly for 6 months had 23% higher memory test scores and 18% lower resting blood pressure than the control group. They didn't change their diet. They just warmed their hands. 6. The ritual meets modern life. You don't need incense, music, or meditation apps. You just need 2 things you already have: your hands and 2 minutes. Japanese clinics even teach a travel version for busy patients. If you wake up in the middle of the night, instead of reaching for your phone or checking the time, place your hands over your lower abdomen. Feel the warmth there. Breathe in deeply through the nose, out through the mouth. This instantly redirects blood to your core and quiets your mind. The fastest way to fall back asleep without a pill. Dr. Tanaka from Tokyo Metropolitan Hospital says, "We treat sleeplessness not as a disease, but as a lost rhythm. Once rhythm returns, sleep follows automatically." That's the essence of Japanese sleep medicine. Gentle consistency over forceful control. 7. What happens inside the brain. During deep sleep, your brain enters a state called slow-wave activity, a time when it clears toxins and repairs connections between neurons. But when you keep waking up, those cycles get cut short. Te-Atsu Anma helps by maintaining stable blood flow through the night. The pineal gland releases melatonin in rhythm with your breathing, while the vagus nerve signals the heart to slow down. This combination leads to a measurable increase in glymphatic clearance, the process that literally washes your brain overnight. It is one reason Japanese elders practicing this technique have significantly lower rates of cognitive decline compared to Western populations their age. You don't feel this happening, but you wake up sharper, lighter, more present. 8. The emotional side. Trusting the body again. For decades, people have been told their sleeplessness is mental, that they worry too much, think too much, need to switch off. But Japanese doctors see it differently. They say, you don't need to turn off your mind, you need to warm your body. There's a quiet kind of relief in that, because it means there's nothing wrong with you. Your body simply lost its rhythm, and it can learn it again. This is why older patients in Japan say the ritual feels less like treatment and more like forgiveness. Forgiveness for years of pushing through fatigue, ignoring signals, and forgetting to rest. And once that warmth returns, both physically and emotionally, sleep becomes something natural again. Not something to chase, but something that arrives. 9. The long view. A lifetime of balance. Te-Atsu Anma isn't a quick fix. It's a long game. It retrains your nervous system the way slow, mindful walking retrains your balance. Over months, it builds resilience, lower cortisol, steadier blood pressure, calmer mornings. In Okinawa, where the average lifespan exceeds 84 years, elderly residents often say they sleep like sea waves. They rise and fall gently through the night, never fully waking, never fully struggling. That's what happens when the body's rhythm stays in harmony with the earth's rhythm. Something this simple ritual helps restore. You're not just sleeping better, you're aging better. 10. The final thought. Safety restored. So tonight, when you lie down and that familiar restlessness creeps in, remember this. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're simply out of sync. And in less than 2 minutes, your own body can find its way back. Warm your palms. Cover your eyes. Breathe deeply. Let your body remember what safety feels like. Because in the end, true rest isn't about silence. It's about safety. And once your body feels safe again, sleep comes naturally, as it always was meant to.